Good afternoon, children. So today we are going to discuss about soil. So yesterday we have discussed about rock, mineral and little about soil. So today we are going to study in detail about soil. So what is a soil? Soil is made up of pieces of rock and minerals and humus, bacteria, fungi and small animals. So, what is humus? Humus is the remains of dead plants and animals. This is sometimes called organic matter. So, what is a soil? Soil is made up of pieces of rock and minerals, humus, bacteria, fungi, and small animals. And humus is the remnants of the dead plants and animals, and this is sometimes called organic matter. Clear? So let us define in detail. So you can note this. The definition of soil is it is the outermost solid layer of earth and a natural product formed from weathered rock by the action of climate and living organisms. A collection of natural bodies of earth that is composed of mineral and organic matter and it is capable of supporting plant growth. So, mainly this definition suits well, that is a collection of natural bodies of earth that is composed of mineral and organic matter and it is capable of supporting plant growth. Clear? So, here we can see an activity that is looking at different soil. Spread each soil on a dish or some white paper. Look carefully at it using a hand lens. Describe what you can see and you could draw a label diagram and write a description of each soil. So there are different types of soil. Yesterday itself we have studied about sand soil and clay soil. The main difference between a sand soil and clay soil is sand soil, the particles will be large and there is a huge air space between them. For clay soil, the particles are small and there is a less tiny air spaces between the particles. So there are different types of soil and we can differentiate them based on their size of the particle, color, texture, and what we can identify the amount of humus present. Like that, we can differentiate soil on the basis of different characteristics. Okay. Mainly, soil are classified as sandy, loamy, and clay. So these are the three types of soil and slit soil also. We can say sometimes this is also known as slit soil. So here we can see the color difference between these three soil itself. Let us define in detail. Here we can see different types of soil, that is sand, slit and clay. Here in sand we can say there are large air spaces, big air spaces between particles, but for the clay the air spaces between particles is very less, but slit is between the sand and clay. Fine sand is also comparatively when compared to coarse sand, air space is less, but when compared to clay and silt, it is having what more air spaces. Okay, so sand particle, they are big particle, low nutrient, low H2O, deep roots needed. Okay, because water absorption is comparatively high, so it need deep rooted. Next is silt, fine particles, good for farmland, erodes easily. Okay, that is its property. Then clay, really fine particle, very little space, hard for the roots to take hold because air space is very less, so hard for roots to take hold. So this is the different type of soil, that is sand, silt and clay. So next major analysis of the soil is its color. The most obvious property when looking at the soil is its color. Geologists officially recognize over 170 different soil colors, and but the most common color of soils are shades of black, brown, red and grey. So these are the common colors: black, brown, grey and red soil. So these are the different soil colors. Okay. So next activity is based on the looking at the composition of the soil. Here, place some soil from one sample in a glass jar with a lid. Add some water to the jar so that it's about 2/3 full and put a lid on firmly. Take the jar and leave the jar and its content to settle. This may take a day. The particles in the soil settle with the heaviest particle at the bottom. And the light particle may still hang in the water because the density will be less, so it may be floating over the water. So the humus is the lightest part, so that's the reason why it is floating, and it floats on the top. And repeat the investigation with other soil samples. So here we can say the humus is floating on the top, and then clay, then sand. Sand means because it is large particles, so they are floating. They are not floating, so it will be at the bottom because they are very dense. Okay. So this is about the composition. So we can analyze other type of soils also. So next is about soil and water. Yesterday itself we have discussed about the how the water system, that is water drainage system, is related with different types of soil, that is drainage facility. In clay and sand it will be different. Okay. In clay, the drainage system will be very poor because air spaces is less, and in sand, the drainage system will be very good because there are big air spaces between the particles, so it can absorb more water. Okay. Some soil allow water to pass through them very quickly. These soils drain quickly. Other soil may hold water for a long time. Okay. Some will be allow the water very quickly and it will drain also very quickly. Okay. Other soils hold water for a long time. This property depends on the composition of the soil. Sandy soil drain very quickly, but soil contains lot of clay particles hold for a long time. Sandy soil have lot of air particles, so lot of air spaces. So what happens is they will drain very quickly. But in the case of clay, what happens is its air spaces is very less. But for that reason, it may hold water for a long time. Atra pettanna adendavilla, drain avilla. So this is an example for the sand soil which is having a good drainage. Okay. Next is that is the drainage of water is very important for the survival of crops. So farmers sometimes treat the soil to improve the drainage. So our name sand soil mix they can improve the drainage, and this helps them to grow the crops. Here we can say that the clay soil is holding water for a long time. Why? Means because the air spaces is very less, so they can hold for water for a long time, and that's the reason why it is having a poor drainage. Why? Because the air particles, the air spaces between the particles is very less. So what happens? The drainage system will be very poor. Okay. So here there is another activity. What we have to do is, it is investigating soil drainage. What we have to do is place a measured volume of soil in a filter paper, and we are using a filter funnel. This is the funnel, and here we can see a filter paper, that is a paper which is used to filter something. So then pour a measured volume of water onto the soil and collect the liquid that comes through in the measured amount of time. Repeat for different soil. We can analyze that if more amount of water is collected means this particular soil is having a good drainage system. If the amount of water is collected is very low, means the drainage system will be very poor. That water quick if the particular soil is having a big air space, the water will be draining very quickly. If the air spaces is very less, the water will be draining very slowly. That means it can hold water for a long time. Drainage system poor it can hold water for a long time. So thus we can analyze by analyzing the amount of water. If the amount of water collected is more, means this particular soil is having a good drainage system, and if the amount of water collected is less, means it is having a poor drainage system. Okay. So the soil that have a poor drainage have particles of sticky clay which are very small and packed closely together. Adinte air spaces valare koravanu, and these particles hold water and it cannot move. So what happens is this particle hold water, so the water cannot move or drain quickly. So the soil that drain quickly have bigger spaces between the particles, so the water drains freely. So for that's the reason the sand soil is having a large particle and a large space between them. So what happens? The water will be draining very quickly. So farmer could mix more sand particles into a sticky soil so that the water drain more easily. അതാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ നേരത്തെ ഒരു better crop arrangement. ഇപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് clay ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു then it can hold water for a long time. So that is also one quality that is a good quality for the growth of some plants. But if the water retains for a longer time, that also may affect the particular plant. So നമ്മൾ അവിടെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, ഒരു particular drainage system create ചെയ്യണം by adding sand soil. അല്ലെ, വെള്ളം ഒരുപാട് നിന്നാലും നമുക്ക് ചില സമയത്ത് problem created ആവും. So ആ ടൈമിൽ we have to mix it with sand soil. Okay. So humus helps to hold water. A farmer could add more organic matter to a soil that drain very quickly to stop it drying out too quickly. Okay, a farmer could add more organic matter to a soil that drain very quickly. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ പെട്ടെന്ന് ഡ്രെയിൻ ആവുന്ന സ്ഥലത്താണെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ ക്ലേ സോയിൽ സാൻഡ് ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ സ്റ്റിക്കി സോയിൽ നമ്മൾ സാൻഡ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ആഡ് ചെയ്തു. അതിന്റെ റീസൺ എന്താ? സ്റ്റിക്കി സോയിൽ അവിടെ ഒരുപാട് വാട്ടർ ഹോൾഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് പ്രശ്നം. ബട്ട് ചില കേസസിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് വാട്ടർ ഡ്രെയിൻ ഔട്ട് ആയാലും വാട്ടർ സ്കാർസിറ്റി ഉള്ള സ്ഥലത്ത് ഇറ്റ് മേ ക്രിയേറ്റ് പ്രോബ്ലം. നമുക്ക് എപ്പോഴും വാട്ടർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. സോ അങ്ങനത്തെ സ്ഥലത്ത് വാട്ട് ദേ വിൽ ഡു ഇസ് ദേ വിൽ ആഡ് ഓർഗാനിക് മാറ്റർ that can hold water for a long time. Okay, a farmer could add more organic matter to the soil that so that it drains very quickly to stop it drain out too quickly. അല്ലെ, അതായത് മറ്റേ പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ പ്ലേസിൽ അവിടെ എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്, പെട്ടെന്ന് ഡ്രെയിൻ ആവുന്നതിന് നമുക്ക് ഒരു ലിമിറ്റ് വരെ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഹ്യൂമസ് ഹെൽപ്സ് ടു ഹോൾഡ് വാട്ടർ. എ ഫാർമർ കുഡ് ആഡ് more organic matter to a soil that drain very quickly to stop it draining out too quickly. So ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് sticky soil ആണെങ്കിൽ അത് അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ we are adding sand soil. So sand soil പെട്ടെന്നുള്ള drainage system അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ we are adding humus, or നമുക്ക് അവിടെ clay mix ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള organic matter അത് ആഡ് ചെയ്താലും മതിയാവും. So both they will complement each other. So soil contains pieces of rock, minerals and dead animals and plants, and decay organic matters and living things. The portion of clay and sand particles in the soil affects its properties. അല്ലെ, എത്ര അതിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി, ക്ലേ സോയിൽ എത്ര പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ഉണ്ട്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സാൻഡ് സോയിൽ. ഇപ്പൊ ക്ലേ ആണ് കൂടുതൽ എന്തെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദാറ്റ് പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ പാർട്ട് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ഹോൾഡ് മോർ വാട്ടർ ബട്ട് ഡ്രെയിനേജ് സിസ്റ്റം വിൽ ബി വെരി പുവർ. ഇഫ് ദാറ്റ് പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഏരിയ is containing sand particles in the soil means it will drain too quickly but it will not hold water for a long time. Okay, so this is about soil. I hope this topic is clear for you, and if you have any doubt please message me, children. And you have to draw. Yesterday we have studied about sand soil and clay soil, right? So that particular diagram with air spaces you have to draw in your record book. Okay, if you have any doubt please message me, children. Thank you.